Well, as the dust settles on the latest interest rate rise, mortgage holders are now turning their attention to how they will cover the unwelcome extra costs, while also factoring in the possibility of another hike as early as May.
For many, dipping into their super might feel like the only option to bridge the repayment gap. But before you do that, our next guest is here to help explain the consequences and the other options you should consider as well.
Sally Tyndall, CanStar's Data Insights Director, joins us. Can you dip into your super if you are having trouble with your mortgage?
Look, you can. You can apply for early release of super, but you have to be in severe financial hardship, which when it comes to the mortgage, basically the bank needs to be taking away the keys to your home. And that's not going to happen with just one missed repayment. You know, the bank is going to actually work with you to see if there's a path through. It can take months, sometimes years of negotiation before they actually foreclose your home. So, look, the stats show the how difficult it is. 2023, 2024, there was a high of applicants for early access to super because they're having trouble paying the mortgage. 12,900 people applied. Just 9% got approved.
Right.
9%. It's incredibly small. But also, if you're going to access your super, you really want to get some financial advice. You might want to get some legal advice too, because it can impact some of your support payments. You're more than likely going to have to pay tax on it. You know, the Financial Rights Legal Centre makes a really good point that if it's in your super, it's protected from creditors. So if you've got other bills owing, you've got to weigh these things up. But also think about the impact on retirement, because your nest egg, your super is there to help fund your retirement. So if you're taking out, say, $15,000 at age 40, the impact on your nest egg at 67 can be double, sometimes close to triple, depending on how your super fund's performing over that time.
So you want that nest egg to remain as big as possible for as long as possible. But at the end of the day, if you're in hardship, you're in hardship and need access to the funds. At what age potentially, or what is the eligible criteria for people to dip into it?
Yeah, OK. So if you're in your 60s, you can typically start using your super to help pay your mortgage repayments. There are rules that apply, so you've got to get across them. But also you've got to look at your big retirement strategy here. So you've got to consider what rate of return is better. You know, you've got to weigh up mortgage rates versus the return on your super and the risk involved there. Do that equation. Understand that rating your super early on in retirement can shorten your nest egg. So you've got to map out to make sure you've got enough money in your super to help, you know, you through the twilight years for a very long life, I would say. But also, you know, you've got to get financial advice, really, because at this point, I would say, if I was typing it out, you'd insert one of those exploding head emojis, right? It's really hard to understand all the rules and the strategies. You know, do you want to downsize? Do you want to go to a reverse mortgage? Go and get some financial advice. If you haven't got a retirement plan, now is the time to map one out so that when you can, like, start considering things like using your super to pay down your mortgage, you know where it fits in your strategy.
Where's the best place to get financial advice? Because we say this all the time, get financial advice, but it's really hard to work out where to go.
Yeah, it's such a good question. National Debt Helpline is a fantastic resource for anyone having trouble paying the mortgage. 1800 007 007. I always say it, think of them like James Bond. They're there to help. They will help you if you're really, you know, you just think you're about to miss a mortgage repayment. You've got credit card bills piling up. That's really important. But also, the Services Australia have this financial information service. It's worth checking it out. They can put you in touch with someone that can talk through your financial options. They're not going to give you personalised strategic advice, but it will be a free service, and it is targeted at older Australians. So really lean on that. Yeah. If you're up against the wall as well, there's no interest loans. You can't use those no interest loans typically to pay the mortgage, but it might help with other big expenses that are, you know, causing you grief in your life.
OK. Thanks, Sal.